Welcome to the Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. I'm your host, John Santucci. Call me Tooch. With me, as always, is Anthony from Pounded Sports. Good morning, Anthony. It's Saturday. It's college football.
Oh, yeah. I'm so ready for the weekend, man. Can't wait for these games.
Oh, it is here. Let's. Should we talk about last night?
Let's go.
Well, we
That was brutal.
we were leaning Central Florida last night, and they could not stop Louisville. And we kind of had it capped correctly as they drove down towards the end. All they needed was a score for any teaser or money line parlay with the Knights, but a pick six is a bad beat. And, not good. And then Minnesota struggling on, Maryland struggling on the road with Illinois. So a little different. If the Dogs, had their day yesterday for last night's college football.
Two games we were completely wrong. We never saw it the way that was. That blew me away. But it is what it is. That's sports.
Our free play too.
Our free play. As soon as the Reds bullpen came in, I texted you. Here comes the Dodgers. Just wait. Here comes the Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers didn't show up.
Yeah.
So that was another disappointment. So it is what it is. You can't win them all.
With Walker Buehler on the mound, I'm going to take the Dodgers almost every time.
100%. 100%.
That was last night was just bad beats for us. But today is another day, and we are going to talk about 6 college football games today and give out some lottery tickets and a free pick. We have a free pick today too, right?
Yeah, 2 free picks and our lottery tickets, which we're announcing out today.
Right on. So let's our first game we're going to talk about is Michigan State on the road at the Hurricanes, Miami, and Miami at home was 6.5 point favorite with an over/under of 57. Michigan State 2-0. They're 1-0-1 against the spread. Miami is 1-1 and 0-2 versus the spread. Miami lost week 1 to Alabama, and they barely got by Appalachian State in week 2. So Michigan State, of course, had a great win on the road against Northwestern in week 1, and then they hammered Youngstown State last weekend, 42-14. Here's where we're standing right now. 72% of the bets are on Michigan State, and 88% of the money is on Michigan State. Michigan State getting 6.5 points. Are we liking the road dog?
I really like the Michigan State in this point, and I don't know anybody that does like Miami in this spot. 7 points is a lot of points. Miami, when you think of Miami this year, you're thinking of how Alabama just destroyed them. They came into Miami and just rolled them, and that's the image that everybody has of Miami, instead of the image of them actually beating Appalachian State, which is a quality team. But they were in Miami. It's going to be a great game. I think the odds makers has this line a little inflated, in my opinion. I think this line should have been more like -3, -4. -7 is a little too much for me. I'm on the dog. I like Michigan State in this point. They're just playing way too good. Explosive offense, great passing game, great running game. I like everything that Michigan State brings, and I think they can match up in Miami very well.
Right, and for us, Michigan State coached by former Bears defensive coordinator Mel Tucker, the head coach of the Spartans. So, much derided in Chicago as the defensive coordinator. He's got the Spartans looking good. So, some of the trends on Michigan State: 5-12-1 against the spread in their last 18 games. Total's gone over 5 of the last 5 Michigan State games. We're sitting at over/under of 57. That's a lot of points. I would lean under here. The total's gone under in 4 of Miami's last 6 games.
I would lean the over. I think Michigan State is going to bring the more dynamic, more scoring opportunities for Miami and Michigan State. I think we're looking at the high 30s. Not high 30s, high 20s, low 30s in this game. It's going to be a close one. Definitely not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a game you want to watch from start to finish.
Yeah.
And whoever has the ball last is probably going to have a good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, I'll be flipping that game on for sure. Let's move on to Indiana versus Cincinnati. Since the number 8 Cincinnati, 8th in the country, might be a little high for me ranking. We'll see. Cincinnati first half last week, they were tied 7-7 with Murray State. Not really a college football powerhouse, but second half 35-0. They end up winning 42-7.
They were 37-point favorites, so they did not cover.
Right, they didn't cover
36.5.
Murray State. So
36.5.
a lot of points. Cincinnati 2-0, 1-1 against the spread. They did beat Miami of Ohio for week 1, and then Indiana 1-1 and 1-1 against the spread. Now we remember week 1 they played Iowa and got blown out in Iowa, and then last week they beat Idaho 56-14. Really showing that high-powered offense Indiana did. And where we stand right now, 72% of the bets are on Cincinnati against the spread, and 81% of the money on Cincinnati. Do you like you got a home dog here too, Anthony?
I'm on Indiana. I like Indiana. There's no way I could take everybody in the world is on Cincinnati, which should be a red flag like last night. Everybody was on UCF. Everybody was on Maryland. Red flag. Give me Indiana by the half point +4. I just don't. I'm not a believer in Cincinnati after you struggle at home in the first half versus Murray State. Yes, you blew them out in the second half. But I think Indiana is going to show some tempo in the first half, and they're going to try to control this game and take the game out of Cincinnati's comfort zone.
So what worries me is the Indiana defense. Iowa just slapped them, and Iowa not really an offensive powerhouse. Iowa's winning with defense. Cincinnati has a good defense. They have a good quarterback. For me, I'm not betting this game, Anthony. This is a stay away for me.
I'm not touching it. Me personally, if I'm going to bet it, I'm on the Indiana. I just can't touch Cincinnati. You're in the road. You're playing by far your toughest opponent. They haven't played anybody yet. And everybody's thinking so highly of them. They beat Miami, Ohio at home, 49-14. Not the hardest win, but it's a better win than most. Then they destroyed Murray State. Not a quality win.
Indiana, they were at home against Murray State, but it was 7-7 at halftime. So.
Exactly. So Indiana, they go into Iowa, and I'm telling you, like we said last week and the week before, Iowa is a team that they're going to be turning faces. Well, Iowa destroyed them. It was in Iowa. Iowa goes into Iowa State last week and destroyed Iowa State, which is a quality win.
Yeah.
And then Indiana has an easy non-quality win versus Idaho. They just slapped the crap out of Idaho.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Indiana +4 is the play. There's no way. There's not enough info to back Cincinnati. It's just too much hype. It's all
Cincinnati hoping to break into that college football playoff at the end of the year. What about any play on the total? A total sitting at 50. Total's gone under in 12 of 18 games for Cincinnati, 12 of their last 18, and under for Indiana in the 4 of their last 5 games. So this might be an underplay.
50 is just too low of a number for a college football game, especially with 2 offenses that can put 7s on the board. If I'm going to bet it, which I'm not, I'm leaning the over 50. I'm taking the over.
Okay, so you've got 2 pretty good quarterbacks, Michael Penix and Nate Starkel. You're right. 50 is probably pretty low. Even we're getting a 28-24 ball game. You're already the over. So Arlene here's the under, and Arlene is Indiana. So moving on to the next game, you've got Kansas City at home versus Nevada. Kansas State. Kansas State's a 1.5 point dog at home versus Nevada. Kansas State, pretty tough defense. They're 2-0, 1-1 against the spread. Nevada 2-0-2 against the spread. This is gonna be a good game. This is a game you want to watch.
Definitely. They spanked Stanford in week 1, which I thought going into week 2, Southern Illinois, that they would spank them. 17-point favorites for Southern Illinois at home.
Yeah.
And they only won by 8. So
yeah, they struggled a little bit with the Salukis. That was surprising to me. I did not expect that.
I did not expect that. I even had money on Kansas State, small amount, just for entertainment purposes, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? How are you struggling versus Southern Illinois?
Right.
But then I learned the Kansas State quarterback is hurt, so they had the backup quarterback in. And Nevada's not a bad team. They had a quality win in California. California is not known for their offense, but they got a pretty solid defense.
Yeah, they do.
So they won 22-17. They destroyed Idaho State. That's not a quality win. Idaho and Idaho State are jokes in football programs. So that's like playing Murray State, in my opinion. But I like Nevada here. I think the line is correct. Nevada's favored versus the backup quarterback in Kansas State. I think it's going to be a tight game, and I like Nevada overall to win.
All right, well, 66% of the bets are on Kansas State, so public on Kansas State. 68% of the money also on Kansas State, though, too. So maybe we'll wait and see if some of that sharp money comes in on Nevada. We'll see if you're right. The over-under sitting at 50.5. Again, low, but the trends favor the under. Again, total's gone under in 4 of Kansas State's last 6 games, and 5 of 5 in the last 5 games for Nevada has been under the total. But that's why the line's set at 50.5.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the total?
And just like the last game, I hate it's a low number, but both teams are very, very good defense.
Right.
In this game, I would lean the under. You got
So
a
would
backup
I.
quarterback that can't move the ball, and you got Nevada playing a very good Kansas State defense who surprised us. So I think you're going to see more field goals than touchdowns in this game, which is going to lean the under.
I agree. You know, and the Kansas State defense, you watch them. If you watch this game today, you see they really attack. They're like a swarming defense.
Yeah.
Pretty good defense for Kansas State. So let's talk about the Wake Forest versus Florida State. Wake Forest 4.5-point favorite at home. Over under 62. And who'd have thought Florida State would be 0-2? You know.
Well, they got major upset last week versus Jacksonville State. I talked about this last week on the show. Jacksonville State throws a Hail Mary. They catch the ball, I think it was like the 15-yard line, and the receiver dodges not one, but 2 defenders and scores the touchdown for the game-winning touchdown. But you know what? Think about that. Florida State should never have been in that position where it should have been within 1 score. That game should have been blown out by Florida State. So Florida State, big failures all around. And
right.
Wake Forest.
They were on the road or Jacksonville State, or they were at home? I can't remember.
I think Florida State was at home. I'll double
check. I think so too.
For some reason, I can't find the stupid game on the
and of course, Florida State played Notre Dame tough in week 1. You know, they lost in overtime. That was a really good game. They lost 41-38.
Yep.
And then, you know, of course, lost to Jacksonville State in a shocker. Wake Forest is 2-0, but they're 0-2 against the spread. They haven't covered. Wake Forest beat Old Dominion 42-10 and Norfolk State 41-16. You know, 2 cupcakes.
So Florida State, this is their first road game. Jacksonville State was on the road and they won 20-17. So Florida State only scored 17 points at home versus the Jacksonville State defense. Fail. And the week before that, they're in a back and forth battle with Notre Dame. Now,
you know, it was a letdown spot for them. Overtime loss, heartbreaking loss to Notre Dame. They came out flat versus Jacksonville State. But how do we feel against it? How do we feel about them against Wake Forest, though?
They're going to come out hungry. Florida State. So there's 2 different ways you can think about this game. Either A, Florida State is going to have no confidence going into this game because of how they've lost the first 2 weeks. Or they can come in super motivated, super hungry. And I remember betting on this matchup last year, and it's a back and forth battle. Always a back and forth battle between these 2 teams. So if you're betting this game, I would lean Florida State plus 4.5. Everybody wants you to take the Wake Forest spread. if Florida State loses this game, it's going to be within 3 points. I don't think Florida State has that bad of a team. And I mean, I just can't take 4.5 on Wake Forest. Just can't do it. I think Florida State comes out firing today.
That line's probably pretty sharp. Let's look at some of the numbers. Wake Forest 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. Like we said, they haven't been covering. Total's gone under in 6 of Wake Forest's last 6 games against Florida State. Any thoughts on the total?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, the total's at 62.
Wake Forest can put some points on the board. They scored 42 and 41. I mean, obviously they're not quality wins. But
right.
Florida State has a halfway decent defense.
Yep.
I mean, it can go both ways. It's going to be – I think this number's spot on. I think it's going to come down to late fourth quarter, whether this goes over or under. I would lean over just because I see more 7s in this game than 3s.
All right. Good point. I personally am probably not betting this game. If I did, I would take the points. You know, Florida State still pretty good talent on the team. The next game I probably will bet, though, and I'm talking about number 20, Arkansas versus Georgia Southern, over under 52.5. Arkansas, a 23-point home favorite versus Georgia Southern. Arkansas 2-0 and 2-0 against the spread. They've got quality win. Last week we were all over that game with Arkansas and Texas. All over it.
And
like the Razorbacks.
Everybody was all over Texas. Everybody was sold on Texas. Texas is back. I told you. I was like, nobody's giving Arkansas any credit. Arkansas had a little struggle in the first game, but they came out and covered the first week.
Sure. That's a big rivalry, too, Arkansas and Texas. You know, you got to figure that game was going to be close. It was in Arkansas. We'll take points, you know.
Oh, yeah.
they won outright.
Texas is all hype. The Texas team is all hype. Until we see a for real Texas, they're all hype every year. It's just because they're known as they're Texas.
Right, the Longhorns. Everybody's got their Longhorns caps and T-shirts and everything, rust orange and white. And no one gave our Razorbacks any credit. And this week they're playing Georgia Southern, man. Georgia Southern 1-1. They beat Gardner-Webb 30-25. Gardner-Webb not exactly your powerhouse, and they lost to Florida Atlantic. They got blown out 38-6. So, unsurprisingly, 72% of the bets are on Arkansas. 75% of the money is on Arkansas. We're leaning Arkansas.
Yeah, Georgia Southern is a run-first offense. They're very similar to Louisville, and so far they're able to win at home barely versus Gardner-Webb.
Yep.
And they can't play on the road versus Florida Atlantic. So if you're going to get blown out by Florida Atlantic, and now you're going to go into Arkansas, who just blew out Rice, blew out a halfway decent Texas team, I'm all over Arkansas. I think Arkansas wins this by 30+.
I am too. I love this game. Love Arkansas in this game. Over-under sitting at 52.5 now. Here, the numbers here, the total's gone over in 4 of Arkansas's last 6. Now
over. Give me the over.
The only worry is I don't think Georgia Southern's going to score much. But hey,
I think they score maybe 10 points.
Okay.
Arkansas is going to put a lot of points on the board, and
Arkansas's got to put up 42 points.
Florida Atlantic put 38.
38 on them, right? Georgia Southern 1-6 straight up on the road, man. So we're leading Razorbacks, and we'll move on to another game, which I probably won't bet. We're looking at Georgia State versus Florida. The 49ers, Charlotte, sorry. Georgia State versus Charlotte. The 49ers getting 4.5 points on the road, and over under a 63. So a lot of points expected to be scored in this game. And Charlotte is an offensive team, not really known for defense. Let's see. Charlotte, we were all over them week 1. That was one of our leans, top plays last week or 2 weeks ago. Charlotte 5-2 against the spread in last 7 games in September. Georgia State 4-2 against the spread. So this game probably going to be a little tighter than than the Arkansas game.
Yeah, Charlotte, they were in a duel with Duke. I loved that game in the very beginning. We had
Yep.
plus the points, and we had the money line in that game. They
Yep.
blew out Gardner Webb. Georgia State hasn't shown anything. They got blown out by Army, blown out by North Carolina.
Yep.
Charlotte still not getting any respect. Yes, they're on the road this week, but Georgia State is nothing to brag about. Now, every year in this conference, Georgia State is the one team to look out for in the conference. But I think Charlotte has really been much improved in the past year or two. I think Charlotte keeps this within the 4.5 points.
Yeah, I would lean that way too, though. Although they sure make it nail biting for us for betting on Charlotte. You know,
it's going to be a sloppy game. It's going to be a game that you're going to be sweating, just like in that meme.
Yep, I'm staying away from this game.
Same.
I want to know a little bit more about these teams. We got lucky with Charlotte the first week. I don't know if our luck is with us this week. We'll see. But man, I'm really looking forward to watching the next game, which is the last game on our slate here. We're going to talk about number 10 Penn State versus number 22 Auburn. Man, it's in Happy Valley. Got over under a 52.5. Penn State is 2-0, looking good. It's a whiteout game as well. Auburn also 2-0 and 2-0 against the spread. Penn State went into Wisconsin and won 16-10 there. Penn State's got a really good defense, and then they blew out Ball State 44-13. Auburn has played two cupcakes. They beat Akron 60-10 and Alabama State 62-0. So we don't know. Auburn hasn't played anybody, Anthony.
No, they haven't. I'm going to stick to my golden rule. You fade Auburn on the road and you play them at home. So in this spot, Penn State has looked really good so far this year.
Yeah.
Blew out whoever they played last week. They beat Wisconsin in Wisconsin, which a lot of people were on Wisconsin. I know me and you were on all over Penn State. We had +6 or whatever. I think that was just too many points. This game is going to be a really, really good game. It's not your ideal Saturday night top game matchup, but it's going to be a really good game. Like you said, all white. Penn State is very, very hard to play in. I love Penn State with the points. I'm going to stick to my guns, stick to my method, fade Auburn on the road, play them at home.
What about the total on this game?
The under.
The trends support the under. Total's gone under in 6 of Penn State's last 9 games, and total's gone under 5 of last 5 Auburn games on the road.
Yeah.
So again, that over under sitting at 52.5, pretty good number. Might be. For two teams that play pretty good defense, this is a good number to be playing the under. Trends support that too. Penn State getting good quarterback play from Sean Clifford, and then that defense, which has been pretty stout. I lean Penn State too. The Nittany Lions at home, a whiteout game. Not sure of what their record is in these whiteout games, but
I'm not sure.
I'm definitely leaning Penn State. Like you said, we're fading Auburn on the road.
And Penn State is actually, the line just went down to 4.5. So this is a perfect opportunity to take Penn State -4, by the hook. Solid outcome.
Yeah, I like that. Well, great advice. You get great advice here at Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. We're gonna give out our free play real soon here. We got a new segment called lottery tickets. So we're gonna do free play. We're gonna do the lottery ticket first, right, Anthony?
Yeah, we can do that. Sure. You want to give out yours first?
So lottery tickets. We're gonna give you like multi-leg teasers and parlays for viewers, and I'll show them one lottery ticket
and one from you.
And one from me, and we'll do the same tomorrow for the NFL. I've got a 8-team teaser for NCAA football, and we're looking at Army. You're going to tease this game 6.5, so you're going to Army -28, Coastal Carolina -7, Pittsburgh -8, Syracuse -15, Colorado +4, Alabama -8, Arkansas -16, and Stanford -7. if I were looking at the weak links, I'm looking at Coastal Carolina on the road, but I mean, Buffalo's hasn't been as good as advertised. People are, like you said, people are thinking of Buffalo from last year.
Yep.
But Anthony's got his $20 wager will pay $300.
Yeah, it's a great payout.
So
I mean, it's not the hugest payout, but you know what? $300 from a $20 risk, that's huge.
right, it's
So,
a plus 1,400 bet. So
can't
all
beat
right,
a 15 to 1 shot.
we're gonna throw up Anthony's ticket there. You can see.
Now mine's a 2-day ticket. So we got the Browns tomorrow, just have to win. I don't see how they lose in that game. And I'm fading the Bears. I'm fading Andy Dalton tomorrow. And Bengals +3. Line is currently +2. I'm boosted it up to +3. So just in case for crazy things that happen, it is sports. Nothing is guaranteed. And I love the Broncos to win. It's currently -6. Take the money line. Great value, -256 in Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't stop. They couldn't stop a high school team right now. Coastal Carolina on the road, just have to win. Alabama -14. I love them rolling into Florida. Penn State, all they have to do is win. Air Force, all they have to do is win. Stanford in Vandy. I don't see how Stanford doesn't win by 2 touchdowns. Boise, it's going to be a nail biter. This is probably the weakest link, but it's very hard to win in Boise. Very hard.
Boise State, very tough at home on that blue field.
And then you got Tampa. Tampa is
they're playing Atlanta, right?
13-point favorites.
They're playing the Falcons.
Yeah. Let me take the ticker off. How do I? Okay. So, there it is. $25 to pay $1,086.44.
Right.
Great.
Well,
it's a fun.
Your lottery ticket's a little bigger payout than mine, but yeah, that looks good, man. I'm gonna copy this down myself. Take a little screenshot of this and play this one too. So before we give out our free play, let's talk about some of the specials we're running for VIPs.
Yeah, so I got all weekend. It's just a one-time fee. You're getting 3 10-unit bombs, 2 5-unit plays. I got 11 plays total. And if you text me, message me, I'll give you some leans that I like we do on the show. And you're also going to get all tomorrow's NFL plays. I'm 17-8 in the last 2 Saturdays. We won 22 units in week 1 in NFL. $29.99 for the weekend. You can't beat it. And go to pendasports.com. I mean, I'm very, very excited for the weekend.
Right, and I'm running my same one I ran last week, $20 for all my football plays, all football, college and NFL, today, tomorrow, and Monday. About $20, all football plays all weekend plus Monday. All right, so before we get to our free play, I want to say our free play is 6-4, so 60% clip. And where's our free play today? In college football?
It's both in college. We got 2 free plays for everybody today.
All right, so let's run the little transition. All right, so here comes the free play. You've got Michigan State +7 and Auburn Penn State 52.5. Are we
under? I'm sorry, under. I didn't
under 52.5. All right, so 2 free plays: Michigan State +7 and the under in Auburn and Penn State.
Yeah, so we really like Michigan State today. So does the public, which scares me, but it's going to be a great game. I think Michigan State does keep this within 7 points. And then in the other game, Auburn, Penn State, it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm predicting another Penn State, Wisconsin type game. And 52.5 is way too many points in an all-white game in a crowd like Penn State. I don't see Auburn putting many points up. And I see mostly field goals in this game.
Yeah, I love that play too. I'll take the under in that one also. Michigan State, Miami, that's going to be a tough game.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, a great game. Like you said, if it's close, 7, we'll take the 7 points. So, all right. And that is it for Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow. We're talking NFL football. We'll talk about the same amount of games as well. And, we'll be talking about those Broncos on the road again, man. So the Broncos start the season 2-0. 2 road wins, man. That's going to be a good step for them getting a playoff berth.
There you go. Yeah,
we'll
so
talk
tune in
a little
tomorrow.
bit more.
Tune in tomorrow. We got some NFL plays, play the lottery tickets, play our free plays, and then tomorrow we'll go over our recap.
Same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then. Thanks.
And I'm the team cap. He's the preview, and I'm the main attraction.
Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible. Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible.
Invincible hustle, mighty desire to conspire, to transpire, to be higher.